Osrc News at 7. Ondo State embarks on private partnership to establish refinery free trade zone. Landlords, residents called to action as flood risks rise in Ondo State. Ondo empowers over 100 youth with disabilities through entrepreneurship training. Legal battle ends as Supreme Court confirms Okpebholo's mandate in Edo State. And from the foreign scene, Trump's West Africa summit sparks hope amid aid cutbacks. Good evening and welcome to the news at 7. I am Omoshideola Adesoye Ajayi. The Ondo State Development and Investment Promotion Agency, ONDEPA, has confirmed that Backbone Infrastructure Nigeria Limited, BINL, will construct and operate a 500,000 barrel per day refinery at the Sunshine Industrial Park in Ogoti-Eruna. This project is a joint venture between BINL and the Ondo State government with support from the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation to guarantee crude oil supply. The refinery, estimated to cost $15 billion, will be developed in phases. According to ONDEPA, the first phase will see the construction of 100,000 barrel per day facility with a projected cost of $4 billion and is expected to be completed within the next 48 months. In addition to the refinery, BINL will establish the Sunshine Free Trade Zone in the larger local government area aimed at boosting industrial growth and attracting investment to the region. ONDEPA says this project will not only enhance Nigeria's refinery capacity, but also create thousands of jobs and stimulate economic development in Ondo State. To ensure a flood-free and hygienic environment in Ondo State, government's efforts towards effective flood management must be met with collaborations from individuals and communities. At a time when Ondo State is listed among high-risk states by the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, residents' lackadaisical attitude to drainage management and other unhealthy environmental practices have been flagged as impediments to government's efforts at curbing floods. In this report, Joy Pius projects the impacts of active community involvement in flood control and prevention as heavy downpour intensify.
According to the 2025 seasonal climate prediction released by the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, the country is expected to witness high-intensity rainfall this year, which may lead to flash floods. According to experts, the floods could be triggered by excessive rainfall, poor drainage systems, and rising sea levels. Also, the federal government had raised the alarm that 30 states of the Federation and Federal Capital Territory, FCT, were currently at risk of flooding. Every year, predictions such as these are made, yet incidents of flooding dot the landscape. Experts say these forecasts are most times not heeded. Ondo State is already facing its share of the seasonal flooding, with cases recorded in Bishu, among other areas. Study of a disaster in Ondo State shows that the triggers of flooding are human-induced.
Improper disposal of waste to the stream. You see people dumping waste the moment the weather is cloudy. The next you will see is people dropping their refuse in the drainages, hoping that the rain or the rain will be able to take it away. Take it to where? Take it to the canals that is already locked up. And invariably, this in itself now, once does not have a path to travel, definitely the next thing is flooding. So the pathway to drainages have already been blocked, and this in itself constitutes This is the primary thing that constitutes flooding, because once the plant is locked up, water will definitely find its level, and the next level might be the nearest house or the nearest neighborhood, and this in itself too constitutes a lot of hazard, especially flooding.
Many drainages across residential and business areas are filled to the brim with silts and debris, while apartments, business owners and residents look away. Existing in various communities are landlords associations, a body of landowners with a vision to address collective challenges within their folds. But to what extent have they influenced flood prevention?
In this community, for example, what we do, anytime we have a monthly meeting, the first thing we do is to educate our people, stop them from putting their debris at the gutter, making sure that the drainages in front of their houses are being cleansed every Saturday. And apart from that, we go around ourselves to see where these things are, and we clear it. You find that out in most communities. You find that these people that are generating these things are not even from that community. They come with their loads of debris, and then you see them dropping their gutter and they run away. What do we do?
Poor drainage systems cut across many communities, a challenge the landlords say is capital intensive and needing government aids.
It is necessary the government takes a step. Go back to the drawing board. In those days, when I was young, I remember, when I was in primary school, we used to have what we call public work department, authored by the local government. Let the state allow local government to do what? To work in their areas.
We are hoping that if that drainage is done, then it will at least allow the waters to flow very well. I know that it is expensive to do things like this, and it's not something that the community alone can handle. So the community have done to reach out to all structures and bodies, and we hope that the government will come to our plight.
However, many say more steps need to be taken by individuals in supporting and improving on government's efforts.
Before the government will have to come to the rescue, you have to rescue yourself. And the only way of doing that is that make sure that you don't constitute a nuisance to the environment that can lead to flood. And how do we do that? Let us have the consciousness of cleanliness.
Effective flood management requires a combined effort to protect lives and property from flooding. Therefore, to share in the responsibility of mitigating flood risks, residents must take proactive measures such as desilting drainages regularly and ensuring proper waste disposal. Joy Pius, OSRC News.
The Supreme Court of Nigeria has affirmed the election of Monday Okpebholo as the governor of Edo State, dismissing the appeal filed by the People's Democratic Party's governorship candidate, Asue Godalo. A 5-member panel of the Apex Court in the lead judgment delivered by Justice Lawal Garba held that the appellants failed to prove their case of overvoting, non-compliance with the Electoral Act, among other infractions, which they cited as grounds to fault the electoral victory of Okpebholo. In a unanimous judgment, the Apex Court held that with the submission before it, Ighodalo was not duly elected by the majority of lawful votes cast. And Governor Monday Okpebholo has extended an olive branch to his political opponents following the Supreme Court's affirmation of his election victory. In a statement by his Chief Press Secretary, Fred Itoa, Okpebholo called on all residents and political leaders in Edo State to unite and support his administration for the development of the region. He noted that the election dispute is now over and urged everyone to focus on governance and healing divisions within the state. The governor described the Supreme Court's victory as not just a legal win, but a reaffirmation of the mandate freely given by the people of Edo State, signaling a new chapter of unity, inclusiveness, and accelerated progress. Also, President Bola Tinubu has congratulated Governor Monday Okpebholo of Edo State on the Supreme Court's affirmation of his election. The president urged him to unify the state and accelerate the delivery of good governance. Also, the Ogun State Governor and Chairman of the Southern Governors Forum, Dapo Abiodun, has hailed the Supreme Court's affirmation of Monday Okpebholo as Governor of Edo State, describing it as a well-earned victory. Abiodun, who stated this in a statement issued on behalf of the forum in Abeokuta, Ogun State, said the verdict has laid to rest any insinuation that the victory of Okpebholo, who won the September 21, 2024 governorship election with 291,667 votes, defeating his closest challenger, Asue Ighodalo, who gathered 247,655 votes, was a fluke. He said that with the Apex Court's verdict, the Edo State Governor now has the opportunity to devote full attention to actualizing the agenda for which the Edo electorate gave him an overwhelming mandate without any political distraction. Meanwhile, the 2024 People's Democratic Party (PDP) candidate in Edo State, Asue Ighodalo, has condemned the Supreme Court's judgment which affirmed the election of Monday Okpebholo of the All Progressives Congress (APC) as the governor of Edo State. Ighodalo said he felt a deep sense of betrayal by the decision of the Apex Court, arguing that what played out on September 22, 2024 was a deliberate and coordinated robbery. He alleged that the governorship election was rigged in favor of the APC candidate and incumbent governor. Ighodalo stressed that while he accepted the finality of the Supreme Court judgment, he cannot pretend that what was delivered amounts to justice. In the meantime, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) says 217,980 votes in Ibadan North Federal Constituency in Oyo State would elect a new representative at the National Assembly for the constituency. The body also said that 19 registered political parties in the state were eligible to participate in the by-election, adding that all participating political parties will campaign from August 2 to August 14. The Oyo State Resident Electoral Commissioner Adeni Rotela stated at the stakeholders meeting with the political parties ahead of the by-election slated for August 16 that Ibadan Federal Constituency comprises 12 wards with 512 polling units and has 272,196 registered voters, but only 217,980 collected permanent voter cards. He added that the commission already had some of the non-sensitive election materials in its custody. The Senate has removed Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan from her current committee on diaspora and replaced her with Anie Kombasi, who represents Akwa Ibom North East Senatorial District. The decision was announced during plenary with no official reason given for the change. Basi is expected to assume duties immediately. Akpoti-Uduaghan, who represents Kogi Central, was appointed chair of the Diaspora and NGOs Committee on February 4, 2025, following her earlier removal as chair of the Senate Committee on Local Content. Her latest removal marks another slight reshuffling within the Senate Committee leadership. And the upper chamber has also called on President Bola Tinubu to, on compassionate grants, assist the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) in paying a 200 million compensation to the family of 2-year-old Ivan Omorina, who was tragically killed during an NDLEA operation in Asaba, Delta State. This followed a petition submitted by the chairman of the Senate Committee on Ethics, Neda Imasheun. The tragic incident occurred on July 13, 2023, when NDLEA officers reportedly opened fire during a raid, fatally striking the toddler as he returned home from school. The case had sparked public outrage and demands for justice from civil society groups as well as the victim's family. During plenary, the Senate condemned the killing and urged that the NDLEA take full responsibility by bearing the total cost of the compensation being demanded by the family. Lawmakers stressed that such incidents must not go unaddressed, underscoring the need for accountability within law enforcement agencies. In a mark of respect, the Senate observed a minute silence in memory of the late Ivan Omorina. Furthermore, the Senate directed its Committee on Legislative Compliance to monitor the implementation of the resolution and report back to the Chamber within 2 months. It's OSRC News at 7. We take a break now. When we come back, the news continues. Please don't go away.
Nigerians' commitment to achieving universal health care coverage is reflected in the unwavering dedication of my administration to uphold this right for every individual, young or old, in rural or urban areas. Health is not merely the absence of disease, but the embodiment of physical, mental, and social well-being. It is a fundamental human right.
Nigeria as a global agricultural powerhouse, supplying quality produce to international markets while ensuring every citizen has access to affordable nutrition.
Powered by Grassroots Movement for Tinubu GMT, Ondo State Chapter, GMT, in God we trust.
Glad to have you back. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook at OSRC TV, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel OSRC TV Ondo. In a bid to deepen youth engagement in governance and leadership, the Ondo State government has inaugurated the third session of the Youth Parliament following a formal proclamation by Governor Loke Aiyedatiwa. The event marks a new chapter in promoting youth participation in the democratic process. Assembly correspondent reports that the event was held at the mini chamber of the House of Assembly in Akure. The official inauguration of the Youth Parliament in Ondo State is sequel to its proclamation by Governor Loke Aiyedatiwa as a platform for young people across the 18 local government areas to contribute to governance, express their views on developmental issues. The initiative, the third in the series, is aimed at building youth capacity in governance, advocacy, and democratic participation. Governor Loke Aiyedatiwa, represented by his deputy, Dr. Laide Adelami, who declared the Youth Parliament open, expressed the present administration's commitment to nurturing the next generation of political leaders.
I want to reiterate our administration's commitment to nurturing the young people of our state as responsible citizens and future leaders. This vision is at the heart of our youth development agenda, and the Youth Parliament serves as a vital framework for achieving this goal.
The governor charged the youth legislators to be purposeful, responsible, and visionary in their roles.
By the power conferred on me by the National Youth Policy 2019, I hereby proclaim the third Ondo State Youth Parliament inauguration this day, Monday, 7th July 2025. In the name of the Father, Amen. In the name of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Earlier, in his welcome address, Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Youth Empowerment and Job Creation, Orioyi Gbaisomori, acknowledged the youth-friendly policies of the present administration.
I also wish to appreciate Mr. Governor for his unwavering support, commitment to the ideals of youth empowerment, which has strengthened the capacity of young people of our dear states.
The Speaker, Ondo State House of Assembly, Olamide Oladiji, assured of the Assembly's support and guidance to ensure that their opinion counts.
We make the environment comfortable for them, and then we make the Halo Chamber, the mini Halo Chamber, available for them, and we promise the SSC to Mr. Governor and they should count on our support at all time. And why? Because the youth, they are the energy room of the larger society.
Also, the Youth Parliament Speaker, Ayo Shedrack, promised that the Parliament will amplify the voice of the youth and ensure they play active role in policy making in the states.
Our assembly is going to solve 70% of Ondo State problem. And because the youth sector is the biggest sector, of course, we are the innovators, we are the creators, and we are the most dominated and most energetic sector of society.
The 2-year non-renewable session is expected to deliberate on key youth-focused areas such as education, employment, digital innovation, and mental health. Meanwhile, over 100 young persons with disabilities and special needs have undergone entrepreneurship training during a 3-day capacity building workshop organized by Girls to Women Research and Development Center G2W in partnership with the Enterprise Development Center EDC and the MasterCard Foundation in Akure. The executive director of G2W, Olamide Falano, said the training was a proactive step towards economic inclusion for persons with special needs. Our correspondent Abidemi Akinrotoyi now reports.
In Akure, the Ondo State capital, a transformational 3-day training workshop equipped over 100 participants, many living with physical, visual, hearing impairments and albinism with practical business skills. The training was part of the Transforming Nigerian Youth Project aimed at empowering marginalized groups through entrepreneurship. Participants aged between 18 and 35 were taken through intensive sessions that covered business development, marketing strategies, financial literacy, digital skills, and growth planning. The EDC coordinator, Jane Omojori, said the curriculum was tailored to meet the unique needs of participants and ensure they leave the program with actionable knowledge and confidence to launch or improve their businesses.
18 to 35 years, because we felt that that's the age whereby you make a decision on how to manage your businesses and run it effectively. Because I don't realize, I want to run businesses and they are doing it well. So, 3 days actually businesses, they are so interactive, engaging. In fact, contribute to the class because I could see their level of intelligence. No.
The training environment was designed to be inclusive and supportive. Sign language interpreters, visual aids, and mobility-friendly access points ensured all participants could fully engage. Deputy Speaker of the Ondo State House of Assembly, Lolade Gbegudu, lauded the practical nature of the sessions and urged beneficiaries to use the skills acquired to create positive change in their communities.
From our interaction with them, we saw that I learned a lot of things in terms of our skills, capacity building, and types of relating with people in their businesses, how to relate, interact with the customers, and how to interact with other people within their communities and society.
The Executive Director of Girl to Women Development Center, Olamide Falano, stressed that beyond knowledge, the workshop served as a platform for empowerment, inclusion, and economic justice.
We want to encourage others who have disabilities and see it as a barrier. Disability is not a barrier. Disability is not an ability. You are only differently abled. So look inward, bring that humanity in yourself, look at that power in yourself, and achieve and point to any goal.
Participant engagement throughout the sessions was inspiring, and many expressed excitement about turning their business ideas into reality.
Yes, it helps a lot because it reminds us the more
They have learned me how to know to manage my business, how to talk to my customers, how to gain more profit, and how to add more business to my business. So I'm very, very happy.
I benefit on how to interact with my customers, not to be too aggressive on customers, how I can manage my customers. Some customers are very difficult, so how we can manage and handle them.
The training wrapped up with a certificate presentation, marking a new beginning for participants ready to contribute meaningfully to their economy. Abdidemi Akinrotoye, Osrc News.
And now foreign. President Donald Trump has hosted a surprise multilateral launch at the White House with 5 West African leaders as the region grapples with the effects of recent U.S. aid reduction. The meeting brought together the heads of state from Liberia, Senegal, Gabon, Mauritania, and Guinea-Bissau. The unexpected gathering aimed to foster dialogue and strengthen diplomatic ties amid growing concerns over the impact of diminished American assistance on West African development and stability.
That benefit both the United States and our partners, and we're shifting from AID to trade. We had AID, or aid as we sometimes call it, right to trade, and trade seems to be a foundation that I've been able to settle a lot of these disputes. We have closed the USAID group to eliminate waste, fraud, and abuse, which was tremendous waste, fraud, and abuse. And we're working tirelessly to forge new economic opportunities involving both the United States and many African nations. There's great economic potential in Africa, like few other places in many ways. In the long run, this will be far more effective and sustainable and beneficial than anything else that we can be doing together.
So perhaps an investment could be made in a golf course in Senegal. It would just be 6 hours by flight from New York, from Miami, from Europe, or from the Gulf, and that would be an opportunity for you to show off your skills.
Liberia is a longtime friend of the United States, and we believe in your policy of making America great again, and we just want to thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, thank you, and such good English, such beautiful. Where did you learn to speak so beautifully? Where were you educated? Where?
Yes, sir.
In Liberia.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's very interesting. That's beautiful English.
Sure.
I have people at this table can't speak nearly as well.
Very good, sir. Thank you.
And that concludes the news at 7 tonight. But just before we go, let's take a quick look at some of the major stories. We told you that Ondo State and Backbone Infrastructure Nigeria Limited, BINL, has partnered to build a $15 billion refinery and establish a free trade zone aiming to boost industrial growth, create jobs, and stimulate economic development in the region, in Ondo State. And we also told you that Ondo State's flood prevention efforts are being impeded by residents' neglect of drainage system, highlighting the need for community involvement and collaboration with the Ondo State government to mitigate flood risk. We also told you that the Supreme Court of Nigeria has affirmed Monday Okpebholo's election as governor of Edo State, dismissing the appeal filed by the People's Democratic Party PDP candidate Asue Ighodalo. And finally, we told you that President Trump has hosted a surprise multilateral lunch at the White House with 5 West African leaders from Liberia, Senegal, Gabon, Mauritania, and Guinea-Bissau. The meeting aimed to foster dialogue and strengthen diplomatic ties amid growing concerns over U.S. assistance on reduction of West Africa's development and stability. And that's news at 7. Thank you so much for watching. Good night.